There are a lot of games in my personal collection. On Steam alone, I have 472 games, most of which I've never even started up. I don't necessarily buy games for the sake of buying them, but I have acquired free codes, people have gifted me games, and yes, of course, I do partake in Steam sales where I do buy more games than I should on occasion. But I wanted to take a look at some of them. I wanted to at least try as many of the games that I own as I possibly can. But the time I have in this world, and as bleak as that sounds, you only get so much of it. So today I chose three games that I'm going to spend 2 hours with, and I'm going to talk about what I liked and didn't like about them, and if I would keep playing them or not. The first game I chose was Possessors, which is a 2D Metroidvania, which I typically don't like the genre. I've tried many of them. They always look very fun to me, but there's so many small things about the game that bother me. I hate the constant looping back that generally happens. I'm not a huge fan of platforming, and the general lack of navigation assistance in these games is enough to get me to set games down usually. That was one of the reasons I quit playing Hollow Knight, was I was very tired of running around the area, not really sure what I was doing or where I needed to go. With Possessors, all that stuff is still here, but the story has had me progressing a bit further than I normally would have. In fact, I think the only one of these types of games that I've gone further in than Possessors was Blasphemous, which I intend to go back and finish at some point. Possessors has a great story, an evil corporation somehow tied to demons that escape and run a whole town. And if I remember correctly, they're like a battery company. So, like, how do you even get demons from batteries? The protagonist makes a deal with the demon as the building is like falling apart and demons are everywhere and she's severely injured. Must now contend with having it inhabit her body while still trying to seek vengeance on the demon who took over her friend, possibly killed her family. It's a fantastic setup, and it hooked me in pretty well. During the 2 hours I played, I did have a pretty great time overall. The combat was well balanced enough. I liked the pairing, but there seemed to me that there was a bit too many flying enemies that were really annoying to deal with. And the weapons and customization, though, were really nice. Although I didn't get to do too much of that because I died, kind of a lot, and I would lose stuff and have to go back. Much like in a Souls game, you have to go back and find it. You can deposit it in these little banks, but I kept forgetting to do that. I'm not incredibly eager to keep playing this right this second, but I do think I will keep chipping away at it here and there. I enjoyed it far more than when I tried to play The Sinking City recently. I had such a bad time with that. I destroyed all the footage of it and just deleted the game after an hour. But Possessors, pretty good. You should try it. The next game I tried was EnGarde, which is apparently it started out as like a school project, and I have to say, whoever worked on this did a stellar job. EnGarde nails the feeling of like a PS3, Xbox 360 era adventure game. It has all the charm, the solid humor, simple gameplay, and it has these unique visuals that set it apart from what's available right now. While most games try for this almost annoying level of realism, EnGarde goes the other way and it has an almost cartoonish look. It made me feel almost nostalgic for a game I hadn't played to this point. My biggest complaint with the game was the fact that there was an issue with some of the camera angles in what this game uses as cutscenes. There were times where the camera would lock in place while two characters talked, and I couldn't see anything that was going on because it would frame a random object from the world in my field of view. So it looked like I was talking to nobody, or just all I saw was a pot on the ground. I enjoyed the traversal and sort of goofy charm the characters had at time. I recall finding a note after climbing a few different floors where the insecure dictator, and he's like the main villain of the game, the Count Duke, he doesn't understand the term bootlicker and says the townspeople should be jealous that they don't get to lick his boots. It was funny, almost ironically at this point. Adalia is such a fantastic main character. She's confident, she's capable, but she can still be vulnerable when it comes to her love interest, Zeta? Zida? I hope I'm saying that correctly. I loved seeing the lesbian representation here, and her boss fight was pretty fun. Although it does get reused, I think, a total of 2 times. So that, take it or leave it. Despite the combat getting a bit repetitive at times, I do plan to keep playing this game. It's pretty solid. Whether you're a newcomer to video games or someone who's looking for a smaller 3 to 4 hour adventure between bigger games, EnGarde delivers. Speaking of, if you are a newcomer, EnGarde has great options to help you through the game. Though it is a simple enough game, you can turn on these like assistance modifiers, things like auto parry and vulnerability, to help you get through it if you needed it. It wasn't super difficult without it, but I can see like if you're brand new and this is like the first game you're trying, it'll help you out a bit. Oh, just a quick update here while I'm editing. I actually did finish this game and I still encourage people to go buy it. Oh god. We're talking about Crystar now. RPGs are a genre I generally love. I love going on big, grandiose adventures that include a huge cast of characters and building up this protagonist until their story ends. But Crystar completely misses the mark for me. It's almost like it just aimed in the complete opposite direction. I loathed it so much that I didn't even fill the 2-hour time limit that I set for myself. I put Crystar down after 45 minutes and just deleted it. A lot of RPGs tend to have a slow start that really builds the world and what's at stake to hook the player in and set what's to come, which is something I get and enjoy in RPGs like Mass Effect and Persona 3. In Crystar, it all moves at a glacial pace that made my 45 minutes with the game feel like it was 3 hours long. There were several times in the first 15 minutes where I moved a grand total of 5 feet between cutscenes. Cutscenes, by the way, that were way too damn loud. This wouldn't have been a problem if I had been able to do any adjustments to settings before or during the time I played. I genuinely don't think there is a menu in this game outside of the first setup that pops up, which doesn't really have anything other than resolution, subtitle, and anti-aliasing options. There was nothing. I hit every normal button that would bring up a menu in a game, and the only time anything happened was when I hit escape and it warned me about quitting the game. I had to just crank down my headset and hope anyone watching the video that I put out for it could still hear the game. At one point after that, I had to remove my headset completely because of how loud something was, and it just kept going. The characters were all awful. It was weird how whiny our little sister character was. She was supposed to be a 7th grader and acted more like a 3rd grader. There's a demon who was particularly annoying. She had this annoying mannerism that were supposed to be like taunting and childish sort of thing. But then she turns around and is super giddy that she quote unquote violates the protagonist's body by putting a tracking cuff on her. It was super hard to sit through and it made me uncomfortable in all the wrong ways. They also seem to try to be really clever with the names of characters in this game, but it doesn't fucking work. The main antagonist I encountered was named Anamnesis, which sounds suspiciously like a nemesis, and the guardian or whatever character that like gives us our ability to fight in the game is named Heraclitus. I don't even know if I can say this on YouTube, but that name sounds like the phrase Heraclit is. So yeah, I got a small chuckle out of that, but it removed me from the narrative and made me not care at all. The gameplay, what little I got to experience, was super basic. You had a light attack, a heavy, and a dash. That was really it, which for a hack and slash game, I was hoping for a bit more, and I assume that did happen down the road if I had hated myself enough to keep pushing through, but I just couldn't. You run around areas in a sort of Persona-esque style dungeon, but it's nowhere near as enjoyable. I really struggle to find anything redeeming about Crystar. I thought the anime style intro was cool until I got super weird and uncomfortable when you realize the main character seems to be a 10th grader, which makes this scene where she is in this almost see-through nightgown and the wind is lifting it a bit too high really fucking unnecessary. I don't recommend this game at all, and I wish I could refund it, but it's been longer than 2 weeks, so Valve won't let me. It was easily the worst of the 3 games I played for this video. So that was 3 games I spent 2 hours with. I have a lot of games on my various accounts that I haven't sat down to play yet. So let me know if you like this style of video. In fact, let me know down below if you have any ideas on how to make this style of video more engaging for you as well. I like doing reviews on Let's Plays, but stuff like this does help vary the content a bit more, so I'm open to any feedback. Go check out Possessors and EnGarde. They were both really solid titles that deserve attention. Even if I don't plan to really go back and finish Possessors, I kind of want to pick away at it and see if I can get my brain to, need that itch of playing it. But at this time, I just don't. Please be sure to hit the like and sub button and just be good people.